Good morning, third graders. I am so excited you made it back today. I bet yesterday felt like a lot, but you know what? Your brain was growing. I think it feels so great to stretch yourself, and writing is something you're so good at. Today and tomorrow, we're going to finish our paragraphs. It's really going to be easy peasy because we're going to use these writing tips. We're going to look at and use the list of transition words and phrases. Let's just go ahead and click on that link and open it up right now. We looked at this yesterday, so I'm not going to go over it again, but we are going to use it. Okay, now I have that in a tab and I can go back and forth. I'm going to use my research slides. If you already put the information in your own words, you can copy and paste. Say your ideas out loud, maybe to a stuffed animal, and then type what you said. I'm going to show examples of doing this today. Okay? Today, we're going to focus on writing our remaining body paragraphs. We're going to write more paragraphs today. Tomorrow, we're going to do the conclusion. So I made a different video for that. Okay, let's take a look at the assignment. It's going to be super easy to get this done. Okay, we're going to work and focus on third paragraph and fourth paragraph. In the third paragraph, you will describe what your animal eats as well as what eats your animal. Include as much detailed information as possible. Use what does your animal eat? Day 4 slides. It even says write a clear paragraph here. You can change the font size. Fourth paragraph. In this paragraph, describe where your animal lives. Describe the habitat in detail. Use describe the habitat of your animal, day 5 slides. Okay, let's get the things out that we need. We have the transition words. We have today's assignment. If I need to, I'll go to my classwork and open up my day 4 research slides and my day 5 research slides. Remember, you might need to open the assignment and unsubmit your work in order to open up these slideshows. You know how to do this. You've done it before. Now that I have my day 4 slides, my day 5 slides, today's assignment, and my transition words out, I'm ready to get started. Okay, I'm going to show you how we can use some of the ideas and tips that I gave you yesterday to improve our writing and make it really great. Remember, it already told us if I already put the information in my own words, I can copy and paste. I'm going to talk more about that today. Also, try saying it out loud and then typing it. Then we're going to use those transition words to make it sound right. Okay, let's look at the examples. In fact, friends, this page kind of is starting to look crowded now. And so what I've done is I have copied my third paragraph, what your animal eats and what eats your animal. I just took it and copied it, and I've put it right here on this slide. I want to do that so we can compare and contrast my final paragraph that I already wrote as an example with the notes that I took on the day 4 slides, because in fact, they're pretty similar. I can't wait for you to see that. Okay, so I can do that. I'm just going to come in here now and right click, copy or highlight, and then command or copy, control C. I'm going to come over here, control V, or right click, paste. Let's go back and get what eats my animal, and we're just going to put that right below it so that we can compare and contrast. It's a great way to see what we've done and what we need to do. Okay, the slide said pandas eat a lot. They are omnivores. Now remember, if you're not sure what an omnivore is, it means that it eats plants and animals. In addition to bamboo, they may eat birds and rodents. So that's explaining how bamboo is a plant and birds and rodents are an animal that makes it an omnivore. Bamboo is a tall, fibrous plant. Pandas must consume, I decided to use a fancy word for eat, 20 to 40 pounds of bamboo each day. That means they sit around eating for 10 to 16 hours each day. Pandas have no natural enemies. They have lost habitat from farmers and people cutting down trees and whole forests. I mean, honestly, that sounds pretty good. It needs some more transition words, but it's a pretty good paragraph right there. So, since myself, Mrs. Sowash and Mrs. Jones really love to go above and beyond, we tried to give an example of an above and beyond paragraph here. This sentence, pandas eat a lot, well, I think it's a detail. And I know that to write a good paragraph, I need to have a first sentence that is a topic sentence trying to hook the reader. So that's why the first part here isn't highlighted. What I've done is in yellow, I have highlighted all of the things that are exactly words from my slides. Everything else is something where I changed it up. Pandas eat a lot wasn't a topic sentence. So I tried to think about everything I was putting in this paragraph, and I noticed that slide 4 had two things: what pandas eat and who or what eats a panda. Well, nobody eats a panda. You probably already knew that. Okay, so made me think, how can I kind of hint at that without saying those exact words? Because that would be boring. So I was thinking about where I'm really trying to tell you about pandas in the wild or out in nature. So I actually thought in nature was a really cool phrase to start with. Since it's a phrase, I put a comma. In nature, comma, there are always hungry animals to feed. That made it seem like not only am I going to talk about pandas, but also what eats pandas. Do you see how I tried to use animals as the general word instead of pandas? Of course, there are always hungry pandas to feed, but I'm going to talk about more than just that. Okay, then I wanted to think, why do pandas eat a lot? I think it's because they're a big animal, not a small animal. So I added to the sentence, pandas eat a lot. Pandas are large animals, so they eat a lot. I took that idea, pandas eat a lot, and I expanded on it to make my paragraph. Okay, the next thing was, in addition to bamboo, they may eat birds and rodents. And bamboo is a tall fibrous plant. Pandas must eat 20 to 40 pounds of bamboo each day. And again, I wanted it to sound really cool. So what did I already know before I started doing my research? I already knew pandas eat bamboo. I didn't know that they also ate birds and rodents. Rodents seem like a word that a lot of third graders might not know. So I decided to change it to an example of a rodent further down in my paragraph. Okay, so since a lot of people know pandas eat bamboo, I said, it's a well-known fact, or it's well known that pandas eat bamboo. Then I wanted to say how much bamboo they eat, because that's a detail telling more about bamboo. So I rearranged my sentences to put them in a better order. But in order to get enough calories from a plant, now remember, calories are a way to measure how much of something you eat. Pandas eat 20 to 40 pounds of bamboo each day. Now I finally got that 20 to 40 pounds of bamboo each day right there. Okay. I haven't gotten back to that idea of birds and rodents, but I'm finishing with this thought here of the thing that we already know. We already know they eat bamboo, and I have another detail about eating bamboo. And that's how long it takes them to eat it. That means they sit around eating for 10 to 16 hours each day. This was hard, friends. I really liked that they sit around eating phrase, but it wasn't sounding maybe fancy enough since I wanted to try to do above and beyond work. So I put, that takes almost all of a panda's time. I thought maybe that was even more descriptive. What does it mean it takes almost all their time? In fact, it takes 10 to 16 hours to eat that much. So I took one idea and turned it into two sentences. That's going above and beyond. A less well-known fact. See, this is where I'm telling you the next part, and that's that part about them being omnivores. Pandas are omnivores, like other bears. Not something I learned, and so it's less well known, and I'm putting it here. What does it mean that they're omnivores? That means they eat plants and animals. I didn't put that over here in my notes, but it seemed important, so I added it. For instance, pandas have been known to eat a bird or mouse. That's this. They may eat birds and rodents. I just rewrote it a little bit because I felt like I needed to make sure it was my own words. All right, remember how we did a fortunately, unfortunately story in class meeting? I like that word, fortunately. I used it right here. Fortunately, pandas have no natural enemies, so eating all day isn't a problem. However, when farmers cut down forests to plant crops, so do you see how the second part is about the known what eats pandas? Nothing. I didn't just say nothing eats pandas and I'm done. I put, fortunately, pandas have no natural enemies, so eating all day isn't a problem. I wanted to connect what pandas eat to what eats pandas. Why is it okay that they can spend so much time eating? Well, nobody's going to eat them. That's how I did that. I also used another transition, however. However, they still have problems, and the problem is their habitat is disappearing. However, when farmers cut down forests to plant crops, or people cut down forests to build homes, pandas lose their habitat. You can see here at the end where I didn't have quite as much to say. More of my information directly from my slides is directly here. What I added was transitions. Some of those transitions came from my brain, because I like to use my brain, and some of my transitions came from this resource. Make sure you use it. Okay, let's see the second paragraph. That's the assignment part that says, fourth paragraph. In this paragraph, describe where your animal lives. Describe the habitat in detail. Use describe the habitat of your animal, day 5 slides. 5 to 8 sentences about a habitat. Okay, I did the same thing. We don't need to go back to day 5 slides. You can trust me. I copied and pasted. So then I'm ready to do my revising work. How can I make it better? My final paragraph says, far, far away on the continent of Asia in the country of China, pandas roam dense forests. So I still thought I needed to start with the continent and country that pandas live in. But my sentence from the slides, day 5, said pandas live on the continent of Asia and in the country of China. I just wanted that to sound fancy. And so I used storybook words, far, far away on the continent of Asia, and that the forests where they live are dense. That means there's lots of trees close together. I noticed that from my pictures. Maybe you did too. Then I said a transition, in fact, because I'm going to tell more about the forest. They live in only a few mountain ranges covered with leafy and pine trees. This is highlighted in yellow because I copied it from this sentence right here. Pandas live in a few mountain ranges with leafy and pine trees. I didn't change that very much at all. I just added a transition word. And then the next sentence I had in my slides told more about that, so I left it alone. Most importantly, the forests have lots of bamboo growing under the taller trees. I could just copy and paste that. It was already my own words. Okay, then I felt like I wanted to add a little bit of information. And because I want to go above and beyond, and sometimes I think it's hard for kids to understand what life is like somewhere that's far, far away, and I already said it was far away, I compared it to right here where we live. See what I did? And pandas rely on bamboo, lots of bamboo. I'm connecting you back to that paragraph before where we talked about how much bamboo they eat. Pandas prefer to live at 5,000 to 10,000 feet in elevation. This is actually a new idea. Denver, the mile-high city, is in that range because 5,280 feet is a mile. I think I need to say that. But pandas sometimes travel up to 13,000 feet in the mountains. It rains a lot in the forest where they live, so they have long, thick fur to stay warm. So this is the part I copied, and this is where I tell more to compare it to home. At first, it sounds like pandas would be at home in Colorado, but we don't get nearly as much rain and fog, so it would be hard for a panda to survive in the Rocky Mountains. So doing this, comparing and contrasting to my own home, was me going above and beyond. That is not really a third grade expectation, but it's one way that you could explain more and show how much you really understand. For the most part, what I did was copy my slides and add transitions. You've got this, friends. You can choose to copy your slides and add transitions, or try to go above and beyond like I did by adding something to compare and contrast. All right, I can't wait to see your writing, and be sure tomorrow to watch about writing a conclusion. You've got this.